20 years, and it's been a roller coaster.
No, it's definitely been a roller coaster being your wife.
Oh my gosh. You see what I put up with? Hey guys, this is Rick coming at you with Weed to No Basis, the podcast for all things cannabis business related. Are you an entrepreneur? Have something you wanted to create, something you wanted to bring to life in the cannabis industry? Maybe you've always wanted to partake in one of the biggest industries in modern day history. This is the podcast to listen to. One of the reasons why I thought it would be fun for you and I is because we're married. And since we've been dating, we've been working together. Like, how many years?
19.
19 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, 20 actually. We've been working. We've known each other 20 years.
20 years. Mm-hmm. Holy jeez.
We've been working together.
Ay, mamacita. No, like we started, so when we were dating, we
worked together
in the ER downtown, and that's where we met. And then we launched our first company.
MedTrust in 2001.
2001. And we mostly, I mean, you did the majority of the work, honestly. You did like most of the heavy lifting. I was and probably arguably still am just the handsome man behind the camera.
Yes, that's probably true.
Yeah. But it's one of the things, what did we say about how
You're the kite, I'm the string.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And how did that, so I'm just curious now, and I mean, obviously we know the story, but the people out there in WTKB land, they may not know the story. So we say that about how I'm the kite and you're the string. And for those of you that don't quite know it, kind of grasp that. It's, I've always been the one who's like, what do you call my nickname?
Planet Boy. Yeah.
And I forgot when that nickname came about, Planet Boy. Like that's literally my email address to
Way
this day.
in the beginning of our relationship. Because every day you woke up and when you would call me, you were telling me, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I'm like, every day you wake up on a different planet. I'm going to call you Planet Boy.
Yeah. And it stuck. It literally stuck to this day. It's become my Instagram handle. Like it's literally at Planet Boy. My main email address for my Mac has been Planet Boy for 20 years.
Yeah. Long time.
Yeah. I think that's part of, I don't know, I think that's what makes us special is it's like a yin and yang, right?
Yeah. There's
the somebody who's grounded and the one who acts like a child. That's for you guys to figure out, which I think is pretty self-evident though, right? Yeah. And no, well, I mean, just want to, as we're kind of talking, this is my wife, guys. We've been married for coming up to 19 years, mm-hmm. Together about 20. And, just full transparency is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. And you're in our living room, by the way. This is, yeah. So yeah, you're, one of the things we pride ourselves on and what we've done and who we are, and even to the extent of this recording is it's just very real and raw. And, I'm sitting here with my feet kicked up on this ottoman, but so you're literally here in our living room, and this is almost where we sit like daily.
Yes.
You're more over there in your nest. They call it her nest, and I'm more on that side. And but no, we just honestly, guys, we wanted to have a little bit different spin on the show, and that's to give you a behind the scenes of the behind the scenes. Let's just be open and honest. We're the ones who started this. This was our idea to start Weed to No Basis, among other things, and just be transparent and build trust. And we're the ones who are on the other side of the camera, so to speak. But today we're in front of the camera. And this is my wife, Lisa. And I'm her Planet Boy husband, Rick. And we're both nurses. And you've been a nurse for
30 years.
What?
This year, 30 years. I graduated in 89.
Okay, wait, hold on. So you've been a nurse for 3 decades.
3 decades.
So then riddle me this, because I think I may have been fibbed to for the last 20 years. How old are you? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know how old my wife is. No, but one of the other things we talk about is how my wife is a cougar.
Oh,
because...
Oh my God.
No, we play like we do. We play around because there's a little bit of an age gap.
Yeah, right.
There's a little bit of an age gap. I may or may not have been in 7th grade when Lisa was a senior in high school. So guys, that's may or may not be true. It's I'm going to pay for this later. But we've had and this is two ways. Like, this is not an interview, so feel free to chat. Mm-hmm. We've raised 3 kids. Say something now. It's okay to say something.
Obviously, 3 kids, 3 amazing children. They're all raised and
pictures.
and
the pictures
upwardly mobile individuals in society. 2 of them are. The third
one.
They're
all. Yeah.
The third's still trying to find his wings.
Yeah, his wings are there.
Yeah,
he just hasn't spread them yet.
Yeah.
But no, 3 kids, and we're looking at the photos on the wall. There's Kate. She's 27, and you can go ahead and talk and interject as we're going through this.
And Kelsey is 23, and
25.
25. God, 25. I don't even know how old my kids are. If they're 25, then that means we're even older. So that's why she's still 23. No.
Old in years, not old in spirit, just to be clear.
And she just got her teaching degree. So she's working out in the Comal School District. So she's super excited about that. And then Slayton, he's about to take his real estate test. So he's pretty excited about that. And he's working out at the JW this summer, meeting all kinds of interesting people out at the JW. That's always exciting.
Yeah,
so.
That's here in San Antonio for those of you. So, because I know that people, you may be watching this from anywhere in the world, honestly. So where we're at today, like right now, as we record this, you're literally in our living room. This is our crib, and we're in San Antonio, Texas. And I've said this in other episodes, and I'm very repetitive, is that you are watching this. This is the epicenter of the CBD hemp boom, right here in San Antonio. I know some of you are raising your eyebrow going, that's not true, because I live in Oregon, I live in Washington, but I'm sharing with you guys, planting our flag here in San Antonio. 20 years, and it's been a roller coaster.
No, it's definitely been a roller coaster being your wife.
Oh my gosh. You see what I put up with? Yeah. That's gonna be the intro. It's been a roller coaster being your wife. No, but it's been folks, I think some of the things we wanted to share is just who we are. You're in our house, and we've strived. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Strived, just to be transparent and open and honest and
authentic.
Yeah, authentic, and we, as a couple, as a man and a woman, we've had ups and downs, and we've had successes and failures, and wins and losses, and overall, I feel like we've been like really just blessed by everything that's been thrown in our path, if you will.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, go ahead and say something else. Normally, guys, here's the thing, is normally I don't talk. Like, seriously.
Yeah, he doesn't talk much.
Right?
No. But on camera, I'm not a big talker.
That's why I'm trying to make this conversational, so she doesn't look at the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, as if we're sitting here in our living room.
Yeah.
So you would not be a very good, if you were a bachelorette, you would not be a very good bachelorette.
Why is that?
Because the camera follows you everywhere.
Oh, that's true.
You would be nervous.
You'd probably get over it, though, after a while. You'd kind of be numb to it if it was constantly in your life all the time.
So what would you say if this camera was more and more a part of our life?
Oh, no, that's not a good plan.
Well, I mean, but seriously, because this week, as we're recording, we launched our landing page for one of our new companies. I say ours, not just us, but our team, and that's Emma Jane Botanicals.
Right.
And Emma Jane Botanicals, if you guys go to that, emmajanebotanicals.com, you're going to see a woman at the helm. You're going to see a very, yes, I am very biased because this is my wife, but you're going to see a very strong, certain, let's just use the word powerful, a power woman at the helm of Emma Jane Botanicals. And honestly, it's time. It's time that there are more women in leadership roles, more women blazing the trail. And it just so happens you and I are now firmly entrenched in the cannabis world, marijuana, CBD, hemp. And how does that feel? I mean,
I think, just being a caretaker, an RN in the healthcare profession, I think CBD has done a lot of good for a lot of people that I know. So I'm really excited to be a part of this venture and be a part of this landscape right now in the, in today's world. It's definitely like the gold rush again, I think, right? Or like, so I'm excited to be a part of it.
Yeah. Do you think there should be more women in let's just say cannabis in the industry? And when I say cannabis, guys, I'm referring to the entirety of the industry.
The plant is a female plant. So, and I do think, I think that there are a lot of strong women already in this space, and a lot of women are, getting their voice in this space. So, and I think women empowerment is big, and this is a great landscape to get, to get your voice heard.
Lisa she's honestly, you're the more vocal of between us. I mean, you're
for the most part.
Yeah, you're outgoing, and you thrive around people and crowds. Like, that's how you've always been. And I think that's a big part of the initial attraction is, first of all, honestly, it was her smile, because when you smiled, you would like light up the ER. We used to work at an ER together. And people gravitated towards you because of, my words is your energy. Like there's this energy around you, and that was one of my first attractions. Honestly, it was. It was like, I mean, like if you guys go to emmajanebotanicals.com and you see the photo there of her, and the website, if you're listening to this in a year from now, the website may be changed, but as it sits today, there's a photo of you, and the photo just is energizing. But
I find that very interesting that was what was gravitating to you, and then you asked me to set you up with my friend.
And here we go.
Here we go. And you're making Chris nervous behind the camera.
No, and I'm totally good with that, because
so tell the story. I mean, you opened up the miniature Pandora's box, but this is a true story.
It's a funny story. So
this was back when? When was this?
This was in 2000. Rick, he was a player. Rick was a player, so he wanted to be dating women that would be in his.
Who wanted to play?
Wanted to play. There you go. They wanted to play. So he wanted me to set him up with one of my friends. And so all three of us went out, and we met at my house, and we all went out to down to the Howl at the Moon in San Antonio. It's a piano bar downtown on the Riverwalk, and we hung out, and there was tons of nurses there.
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, there was tons of nurses there. I mean, Rick, it was a target-rich environment for Rick. I'll tell you that. It was probably 20 women to one man.
Right place, right time.
Yeah, and we were all hanging out, just having a great time. And then, next thing we know, everybody was gone except for you and I. And we were like, "What is going on?" Everybody was gone, and our ride was gone, and there was no Ubers back then. And we were like, how are we going to get home? So, and then I guess you can finish the story.
Yeah, I guess, we were there with a bunch of friends, and you're right. I mean, my goal was for Lisa to set me up with one of her really close friends. And I guess to put it real succinctly is I was kind of set up.
Yeah, you were.
Kind of set up.
You were.
And then
the ball was in your court.
The ball was in my court. And I got dumped, right? I mean,
or something.
Something.
Or you didn't play your cards right or something. I don't know.
All right. There you go. So now Lisa's coming out. Now you see. So the long and short of it was, they literally, I don't know if they left me at the table, and maybe they thought you were going to go too, but I think I went and got some beers or something like that. I came back, and it was gone. It was empty.
Yeah.
Except you. You were the only one. You were still there. Yeah, and then we had an official first date. So we just talked.
Yeah, we just hung out.
Yeah, we hung out, Howl at the Moon downtown. It's still there, downtown. St. Patrick's Day. And that was the beginning of this.
Yeah. The evolution of our life.
Yeah. And our kids were like this big.
Little.
Yeah. Our kids were tiny. Like what? 8, 6, and...
Yeah, Slayton was 2, Caitlin was in 3rd grade, and Kelsey was in kindergarten.
Yeah, so like our kids were this big, and we're a blended family. And so now our kids, they're brother and sister. So they grew up together.
Yeah.
And we launched so it was after that, we were both nurses working in the ER. I was nights and you were days. And then the idea emerged for our very first startup. And that company went from 0 to pretty large, and well over a decade.
8-figure.
It was an 8-figure business, and we built it from nothing. And
In your apartment.
Yeah, that's right. Because we didn't live together. Like we weren't.
We were dating.
Yeah, we're kind of a little bit old school with some of our values. I'm not judging anybody, but we didn't even live together. No, you lived in your place, I lived in mine, and you would come over for a little bit of Ricky.
Oh my God. You can cut that.
No, then we launched a staffing company. And
it was Kinetic Healthcare, and then we had to switch it to the name MedTrust, remember?
Yeah.
When KCI called us and told us we had 24 hours to change our name.
They sure did. Guys, like that was the lesson. One of, at least for me, my very first entrepreneurial lessons is I don't think we properly vetted the name. And when a big multinational corporation dropped the hammer on us, we had already built a brand. We had everything was around Kinetic Healthcare. We had to switch it like overnight. Yeah, that was a big lesson.
When the 10th floor of KCI building calls and their legal team,
yeah,
you take action when you're nobody.
Yeah. No, we were. We're very privileged and blessed to live here, but back then at least me, I was making my first job as a nurse. I was like $12.25 an hour, $12.25.
So is mine.
RN, and we're both RNs, and the profession's evolved. It's evolved, but part of where I'm going with this, y'all, is because 19 years. And it's like a yin and yang, give and take, push pull. You know where I'm bad, and you also know where I'm good. And as we built then what became MedTrust, is you stopped nursing long before I did, bedside nursing, and you managed a pretty large contract. How many people were on that?
There was 400 nurses on that contract.
Yeah, so you were the project manager for a 400 FTE or full-time employee contract for the federal government. And that shouldn't go unrecognized, because the truth is, as we're just talking here, and I'm kind of thinking through this, is I got a 40 under 40 award. I've been asked to speak. I've done stuff, but the fact is, I could not have done those things if it weren't for you. Right?
No, yeah, you wouldn't have had the opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
No, there's always someone manning something. And I'm normally the person that's manning things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kite and string. I mean, it's the whole kite and string thing. And so grew that business, opened up some CrossFit gyms.
Yep.
Food delivery thing. Some of them were very painful experiences.
Some of them were
painful. Like the guys, the startup world is not. It's not all glory. It's.
There's some wins and loses.
Yeah. Would you have ever done those things? Like if it?
No.
No.
I would be a 3-day-a-week RN. Don't call me for overtime and live my happy life. Tuesday, Thursday, every other weekend, and be very content.
Interesting. And I've known that, guys. I mean, I've known that's how Lisa has been wired. It's and arguably we all have traditional values.
I think entrepreneurship is exciting, and there's a part of me that is, it's allured me in, I guess. But
what part of it?
I guess the excitement of it, and then and I don't mind working hard. That's not it, but there can be no security with it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's literally...
You have to create your own security.
You have to create your own security. And not that I'm afraid of that, but some days I am afraid of that, you know.
It's scary.
I'm not a big risk taker. So.
Yeah, no, and I think if we could probably like cut through to the chase, that and our blended family. I think the fact that I'm a more inherent risk taker than you, and you're more stability is a driving force for you, or non-risk, that has been probably one of the biggest bones of contention. Because for risk, I'm just like, what's the phrase? Get knocked down 7, stand up 8.
Yeah.
And but we've been through. I mean, you were with me when I went through an entire year of training for the Ironman.
And when you got deployed. You were deployed activated for 18 months?
That's right. I was, yeah. So, you know, I guess going back, kind of winding back, is it's high time, no pun intended, that there's more female leaders in the cannabis industry, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, because the world needs to know who you are. They do. And you're not just Rick's wife. You're not just a nurse or a mom.
I'm not just Slayton's mom.
Yeah, you are all those things, but you're also, and I say this with all due respect and just love, is you're also a force. You manage a 400-person contract. You have done some things, and guys, honestly, I don't think the world really knows these things. They don't. They usually will see me on social media a lot or speaking, but it's not.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I really am.
But I couldn't do it without her support. That's another kind of entrepreneurial lesson, is making sure the people who have your back, have your back. This is a team effort. You have to be blocking and tackling for each other, or it could make the whole entrepreneurship thing even harder. What was it like when we first ventured into CBD for you, or let's just call it cannabis? Because we both have been raised that this is bad.
Right. I mean, I think it was a little bit like, are we really going to put our flag out that we're doing this? But
in what way? Like, what did that?
Just because such the negative stigma with marijuana. Because CBD, yes, it's from the marijuana plant, but it's a different. You don't get high. It's the health without the high, right? And I think just being an RN, a healthcare professional, I know that it's I've always been in the Western medicine, right? But I do believe that there are some, CBD is one of them. I think that, I'm not touting that it cures stuff, but I think it definitely does help alleviate, anxiety, and it helps with post-workout recovery, which I know, I work out as much as I can. And definitely on the days that I'm really, really sore, my CBD really put my ointments and tinctures and stuff like that on. I feel a difference, and it's not in my head. So I definitely think that, CBD does some really good things. I've seen it, with friends of ours, and, really great stories. However, I do think that there is a stigma, and I do think the stigma is they're starting to come together. People are starting to understand about CBD and, marijuana and the benefits, the health benefits of it. But I still think that, a lot of people don't know about it. We kind of have like that reticular activator that people that we hang out with know about the CBD and marijuana and stuff like that. But I do think that there's a whole world out there that doesn't know. They still have the same stigma. Oh my God, marijuana is bad. It's illegal. It's whatever. So I think there's a lot of education that needs to be done, and a lot of getting the message out there in a positive light instead of a negative light.
Yeah. You up to that challenge?
I am. And I definitely think, I definitely do a lot of educating with people that, that I come across, and we have a conversation, strike up a conversation about CBD or something like that. So I definitely think that I'm a proponent of it.
Yeah. At some other time, we'll tell you about a special dinner we went to, but not today.
Yeah, not today. No.
You may have to leave a comment and ask, tell us about that dinner, Rick, to get depending on how many of you make a comment, as we'll have to have a follow-on episode. But it was an epic evening, in about the last, let's just keep it broad, about 2 years, and I'm going to leave it there. But if you ever want to hear about this epic dinner we went to, I'm going to leave that right there. You're going to have to make some comments, hit us up at We To Know Basis, or you can also follow Lisa on Instagram. It's at Lismartnz. Not an easy one. Planet Boy.
Yeah, because I mean, there's so many.
Everything else is taken.
Everything's taken. Martinez is a pretty popular name, so I was like,
there's
well,
a lot of us.
what am I gonna have my name? And so I kept putting in stuff, and they're like, no, used. So that's what we came up with.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not easy being your wife, Rick.
Oh, jeez.
Even your name.
Yeah. It's a pretty common name.
It's a common name.
It's like the Smith of the Hispanic world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're from Iowa.
I'm from Iowa. Yep.
It's okay to converse back with me, you know.
Oh, stop it already.
And the question is basically, how do couples in the cannabis space, like, how does that work? And let's just say, you know, couples in entrepreneurship or couples who are doing something, there's a lot to that because
We spend a lot of time together.
we spend a lot of time together.
There's no breaks.
How does that work for you? Like, to that question, how does working together, starting something together and being in a counterculture industry, like, how's that working for you? Like, how does that feel out and peel out in your mind?
I mean, I think that, you know, I mean, you and I, ever since I've met you, we've done something together. So this has kind of been our life together, you know what I mean? And people ask me, how do you work with him and sleep with him and, you know, eat with him, and you're with him like all the time, you never get a break. And I mean, you just have to really enjoy your partner, but I do think it's important for you to take time, and I mean, that's why I work out and I love my girl time. I think it's important. You have to have a sense of self too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's important for you to take time out and do things that you enjoy, that fills your tank back up, so to speak. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean?
Yeah, no, that's fair. Because you do. Like, this morning before this, you took off and went to spin. So there is that, and I guess that fills your tank back up, having a little bit of dedicated time. But you and I do spend an inordinate amount of time together.
We do.
Like, in fact, like here, my office is right there, and your office is right over there. Like, we work out of home together.
Right.
No, I think I would say that, especially as related to starting a business together, entrepreneurial couples, because we do have friends who are, you know, are couples and they're in the same business, like Floor and Fortitude and, you know, Matt and Ellen. But I think a lot of it is there's give and take. Like, there's stressful days where it seems like the crap is hitting the fan, and you respond differently than I respond. And I think overall, if I had to put my finger on and how has that worked for us, like if somebody says, how's that working for you? I would say it's worked very well. And it's not because I don't think that you and I are necessarily anything special per se.
No.
I think what's special is the way that we're symbiotic. Like you said, it's the kite and the string. And we recognize it, right? Like, you know that I'm there.
Oh yeah.
And even though you want to reel me in, I believe that you know that I'm still better when I'm up there. And there are times where I want to pull you up to the clouds and, you know, see it from my perspective. But I also know that that's not where you're best.
No.
You're best boots on the ground. Yeah. I think that's been a big piece to, let's call it, our success.
Yeah.
As a couple. Just, you know, I mean, 19 years.
Long time.
Yeah. It's our second marriage. I mean, it is. You know, we both have exes and blended family. So Caitlin and Kelsey come from my first, and Slayton is from your first. And that's a good question. You know, but I wouldn't trade it in or rewind the clock for anything.
No, I wouldn't either. I mean, I definitely think that, you know, certain couples just can't work together. It's just, it's not good. And I think on some level you have to recognize that. I mean, either you have it or you don't, you know what I mean? And it can cause really big discord in a marriage, honestly. And sometimes it's just not worth taking the risk. You just need to be husband and wife and not take on that entrepreneur venture, you know?
Yeah. Do that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say that it's, I honestly, so now that I'm really reflecting on that question that Chris asked is, since I became, let's just call it a full-fledged entrepreneur, because I wasn't one of those kids that like sold baseball cards. I didn't do any of that. You know, I always knew that there was more out there. I just didn't know that it would lead me to the path of business ownership, entrepreneurship. But it's funny, but if I really think about my life as an entrepreneur, it's been with you. I've never started something on my own. So I don't know what it's like to start a business and then have a partner. It has been us like since day zero. I remember you used to answer the phone from our staffing firm. We'd be by the pool.
Yeah.
Because we'd have to answer the phone 24/7.
Yes.
Like we could not, we literally, the office was wherever our
Phone
phones
was.
were. Yeah. Lisa's hankering to get off.
Yeah, we're good.
So, you know, but Lisa, she's the outgoing one, believe it or not. And she's just very camera shy. Look, folks, today's episode of We to Know Basis was a behind the scenes of behind the scenes. You know, we've brought you some behind the scenes of literally what it's like when we film an episode, behind the scenes of some SMEs or subject matter experts. But today was a little bit different, and I wanted to drive home a new point, throw a different dart on that dartboard, and that's some of the things that a lot of people really don't talk about, and that's how are you in business with your significant other, with your spouse, with your whatever that person is, whether you're a man or woman. And that was the purpose of today, to kind of open up a different curtain, because Lisa and I, you know, we've been married for 19 years, together for about 20, and we have started, launched, had successes, failures in the entrepreneurial world as business owners. And we've done it together. And so part of what my goal today in this episode was really to kind of share a little bit about what that's like, because we have kids and they're all grown up now. But when we were together, they were this big. We've had a house and now we live in an apartment. We've traveled. We've had successes, failures, and what I really wanted to illustrate, guys, is that honestly, there's no excuse to not start something if it means something to you, because there'll always be a reason to not do it. It's not the right time, or I don't have this, or I lack that, or my spouse that. And arguably, I can say that we've experienced all of those hurdles. Having young children. Well, I can't start my business now because I want to be there for my kids. It was that important to us. For that, I would say it was the freedom, the time freedom, the financial freedom, the ability to call our own shots. And with that, as you mentioned, is the scariness behind that. It's inherently risky. But part of what I really wanted to share is that it is risky, guys. Being an entrepreneur in any endeavor, any industry, but even more so in the cannabis world, there's inherent risk, but it's doable. Like we literally, you know, one of the things I mentioned at the beginning was Lisa is now, we're running several different operations, but Lisa is now heading up Emma Jane Botanicals, and you are the female figurehead. You are the female leader of that company, guys. And if we can do it, and we're just us in our apartment.
If we can do it, anybody can do it.
If we can do it, guys, honestly, anybody can do it. It's having the right mindset, the right plan, the right strategy, the right people around you, and it can be successful. And that was the purpose of today. As we unfold this journey, this cannabis journey we're on together, we'll probably come back and do a follow-on. For instance, when we open up our 100th store, or when we sign an international partnership deal, things like that. We're going to come on and we'll share, kind of dissect that, and I think it would be cool if we did it together again.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, the kite and the string.
Yeah.
Planet Boy. And what is your nickname? Luca Brazzi.
Oh God. Okay, we're definitely cutting now.
But guys, look, that was the reason why we came on today, husband and wife, Lisa and Rick, was not to show off, you know, the whole hashtag power couple. We're a couple. Just like us, you each have your inherent own power. We just happen to have tapped into how we mesh those into something very special and unique. And I wanted to share that with you guys because you may be in the same boat. You may be thinking, is my wife going to support me? Is my husband going to be there when I need them? And part and parcel to your success as an entrepreneur, especially if you're in a relationship, is having that absolute support of your spouse. Got to be there.
Well, you got to just be surrounded by the right people.
Right people.
The right
And that
people.
includes your loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Look, folks, that's what we're here today to do. Peel back the curtains. A little bit personal about Lisa and I. The creators of these programs launched several CBD startups, cannabis companies. And if you're listening to this today, if you're listening to this episode today, guys, take some notes. Go back and listen. I hope we can have a positive impact on you and your journey. But either way, if you're listening to this, guys, remember, if you're listening to this episode of Weed to Know Basis, Rick and Lisa Martinez, that's because you guys out there listening to this, watching this or hearing this, are on a Weed to Know basis. And remember, if you want to hear the story about that dinner, that night of that dinner, the special dinner, leave a comment below. Have an awesome rest of the day, guys. Peace.